Hello guys, I'm here to talk about something in Final Fantasy XIV that I like to call the just follow the group mentalities, with quotations. For those that don't know, the just follow the group mentality is where you're expected to follow the group to figure out or to avoid failing mechanics, such as say an AoE circle appears and it's like super quick, and if you don't know it's coming, you're gonna get clipped and probably fucking die. Following the group can prevent this. My name is Magic Paper, and I'm here to talk about this in maybe depth, maybe not. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I just want to talk about my annoyance with it. So, say you're doing one of the Omega raids, and you don't follow the group. It's your first time. So, you're expected to follow the group, but you're in the middle of casting or attacking or something, and you're halfway across the field. You're gonna have a delayed reaction time where you're not going to get into or get out of danger quick enough. Light mages have a skill that allow them to pull you out of danger, but it's not always used. And it has a pretty long cooldown, so you can't expect your healers to use it on you. Or at least the white mage, I don't know if other classes get it. So, when everyone moves to a spot, you're going to have a delayed reaction, and then you're still going to get hit and or die, and increase your vulnerability counter. And for those that don't know, vulnerability is a thing that basically makes you weaker and weaker and weaker for 1 minute until it just stacks up enough where you get one shot regardless of what happens. And trust me, that happens to me a lot, because I fucking suck. Someone told me, like, a week and a half ago, when I started doing the Endwalker Alliance raids, that it's expected for someone who's new to those raids to look it up and research it before doing it. And I disagree with this. The other thing they said is that I should just follow the group, which is common sense. But my problem is that I'm autistic, right? I'm not very autistic, but I am autistic. And sometimes I struggle knowing when to move in this game. And maybe that's not an autistic thing, but I have a hard time learning as is. So the research part is no bueno on my end, and it's just upsetting. Like, if it was a savage raid, I would understand, because at that point it's on me for not knowing what to do. I am expected to learn, and I'm expected to know what to do in savage raids. Even if I haven't practiced it yet, I should still know what's coming, because that is just what you need to know. And for a first time doing something, I shouldn't have to do that, right? Aside from the exception I just stated, which is Savage Raids, and maybe also Extremes. For those that don't know, or have not played Final Fantasy XIV, because I know maybe a few of you, some of my friends will be watching this, a Savage Raid is like a hard mode to a raid. But the bosses get new patterns, new abilities, new everything as far as I know. Same for Extremes. Trials are basically just boss fights. And an extreme trial is just a harder version of that fight with new abilities, more abilities, bigger sets, more damage, whatever. I think we just need to chill out on the whole follow the group mentality, because if I ask what's coming or how to do something, I shouldn't just have to follow the group. And this doesn't always apply, right? In one of the Pandemonium raids against the boss that has the song Scream, I don't know the name, I just know the song because the song's really good. There's a mechanic where you get a parasite of some kind stuck into you. If you don't know what to do, you're just going to hit someone with it, because after a countdown, you are unable to move, right? An AoE cone comes out of you that does damage to someone who gets hit by it. But you can't follow someone and figure that out. You have to just experience that for the first time. Which is why, when I ask, hey, what do I do when this happens? Someone should tell me, because guess what? It's better than hitting someone or getting yelled at afterward. That is just one example, right? But I'm also just really slow. So unless I've done something a couple times already, I'm not going to be able to know when to follow someone, because I will be halfway across the map or the battlefield and just fuck it up and die. Because guess what? I've only done this 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 times, and at that point, I'm still learning. I'm still learning, and I should be expected to follow someone. I try to, but I'm slow on the draw, okay? My reaction time is abysmal sometimes, and people just need to be lenient and lighten up about it and just tell me where to go and what to do before it happens, before we reach that point where I have to follow you. because it's very annoying and I hate it. I think we just have to understand that just explain things. It's really that easy, right? Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm being pedantic. Maybe I'm being a dickhead, and that's okay. You know, for me to rant. Again, I just wish people were more lenient about this sort of thing because Final Fantasy XIV in general is a really good MMO, and most people aren't toxic outside of the toxic positivity that happens. I think everyone should just, care about the other person and not just be like, well, you should research this or learn it beforehand. Like, no. If I'm doing Thalia, I want to know everything. I don't want to know what I'm going into. I don't want to know everything my first time, which it's not my first time anymore, but it was. And that's actually the raid where someone said, you should know this, you should research this by now, or you should have researched it, it's expected, blah, blah, blah. Those are just my thoughts, and I hope we as a community can come up with a better solution instead of just, hey, follow the group, because it doesn't always work, especially for people like me, and there's probably other people that struggle with the same thing that I am. Have a good one, fellas. That's all.